No one's employment may be terminated in any way as a result of companies' racial programs. Race may not be used as a sole criterion. Skills must be taken into account, and affirmative action must be temporary in nature. Now, this would seem to be straightforward, merit-based employment in a non-racial society, wouldn't it? Remember, the African National Congress ran as a non-racial political party, a rainbow party in a rainbow nation. That's what the ANC hoodwinked and sold the public on for decades. But here we are in 2023 when South Africa has more race-based laws than even at the height of the apartheid era. Now, that determination of race not being a sole criteria comes as a consequence of a 9-month mediation process between the Solidarity Trade Union and the South African government under the supervision of the United Nations International Labor Organization, or the ILO. Solidarity had filed a complaint, and that complaint proceeded into hearings, and the first step involved voluntary mediation between the parties. Now, this agreement that the two parties have reached will be gazetted as part of the 2023 Employment Equity Regulations, and the parties have agreed that it will be made into a court order, which means that companies must adhere to it. Now, the strange thing about this is that we've seen all the reporting recently about these abomination regulations put into the 2023 Employment Equity Amendment Act, which forced the sacking of hundreds of thousands of white, Indian, and colored South Africans from middle management, upper management, and employment, and forced the hiring of people based solely on their skin pigmentation, not on their qualifications or what benefit they'll bring to a corporation that's trying to make a profit and pay its salaries for its employees. The agreement stipulates that no absolute barriers may be set for the employment or promotion of any group. Well, that's good. Nobody should be hired based on their affiliation. That's just wrong. This agreement means the end of using race as a sole criterion for employment and promotion. I have a problem with that. Not that they stop using it as the sole criterion, but race should never be used in any hiring situation. It's, by definition, racist to give someone advantage or confer disadvantage based on race or skin pigmentation. So it shouldn't be any consideration, not the sole consideration, but none. This is not the end of racial programs in South African racial preferences. That will continue under the African National Congress, which cares little about the welfare of all South Africans. Race-based programs, as people who oppose apartheid said for years, harm all South Africans. They make all South Africans poor. They make all South Africans live in a worse country. There's no place in a world today for this sort of bigotry and racism that gives people advantage or hires them or hands out contracts solely based on one's appearance. Anybody that supports such legislation, such rules, should be ashamed of themselves because you advocate for racism and racial preferences and racial advantages. We're all human beings. Ebony and Ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my keyboard. Didn't I hear that somewhere once? Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. Nonsense racial preferences. So a landmark decision today, an agreement as a result of mediation at the International Labor Organization between the South African government and Solidarity means that race can't be used as the only criterion. And I say that doesn't go far enough. Using race as any criterion is an abomination to humanity. Enough of the nonsense. Thanks a lot, folks. Become a subscriber and join us right here. We appreciate it.